Think about the last time you really wanted something. A promotion, a relationship, a purchase, a milestone. You told yourself, if I can just get this, then I'll be happy. You worked for it. You waited for it. Maybe you got it. And then, nothing. The happiness you expected didn't arrive. Or it arrived for a moment, a day, a week, and then faded, leaving you chasing the next thing. This is the happiness trap, and almost everyone is caught in it. We chase, we achieve, we acquire, we arrive, and somehow the happiness we were promised is always just over the next horizon. The research on this is clear and brutal. A landmark study by Brickman and Campbell in the 1970 seconds introduced the concept of the hedonic treadmill, the tendency of humans to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative life changes. Lottery winners, after the initial euphoria, they return to their baseline happiness level within months. Paraplegic accident victims, after the initial devastation, they also return to close to their baseline. The implication is staggering. The things you think will make you happy, more money, a better job, a perfect partner, a new house, they barely move the needle in the long term. You're running on a treadmill, chasing a carrot that never gets closer, and you're exhausted. Today, we're going to do something different. We're going to stop chasing happiness and start understanding it. We'll explore what the research actually says about happiness. We'll look at ancient wisdom from the Stoics, the Buddhists, and the philosophers who understood the happiness trap thousands of years ago. We'll identify the myths that keep you stuck, and we'll build a practical framework for a life that is not about constant pleasure but about meaning, connection, and peace. Because here's what I want you to understand. Happiness is not a destination. It's not a reward for getting what you want. It's a byproduct of how you live. And once you stop chasing it directly, you might finally find it. Let's begin. Part 1. The science, what actually makes people happy. Let's start with the data. What does the research actually say about what makes people happy? The Harvard study of adult development is the longest longitudinal study of happiness ever conducted. For over 80 years, researchers tracked the lives of hundreds of men from their teenage years into old age. The goal was to identify what predicts a happy, healthy life. The findings are surprising. Not wealth, not fame, not IQ, not genetics. The number one predictor of happiness is the quality of your relationships. People who are more socially connected to family, friends, and community are happier, healthier, and live longer. Loneliness, the study found, is as deadly as smoking or alcoholism. The study's director, Dr. Robert Waldinger, summarized it simply: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. Other research has identified additional factors. Gratitude. People who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of happiness. Flow, being fully immersed in an activity that challenges you just enough. Spending money on others increases happiness more than spending on yourself. Physical activity. Exercise is as effective as antidepressants for mild to moderate depression. Sleep deprivation is a direct path to irritability, anxiety, and low mood. Nature time in green spaces improves mood and reduces rumination. Notice what's not on this list. More money beyond meeting basic needs. Fame, a perfect body, a bigger house, a fancier car. These things provide a temporary boost, then you adapt. The hedonic treadmill keeps running. The Economist and happiness. Researcher Richard Easterlin found that, while richer countries are happier than very poor countries, once basic needs are met around $75,000 per year in the US, additional income has little effect on day-to-day happiness. Part 2. The happiness myths. If the research is so clear, why are we still chasing the wrong things? Because we've been sold myths. Powerful, seductive myths that feel true but aren't. Myth number 1, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I find a partner. I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when I retire. The problem with I'll be happy when is that the goalposts keep moving. You get the promotion and now you want the next one. You find a partner and now you want them to be different. You lose the weight and now you worry about keeping it off. The when never arrives, because happiness is not a reward for achieving. It's a skill to be practiced. Myth number 2, happiness is the absence of negative emotions. We've been told that happy people don't feel sad, angry, anxious, or afraid. This is not only false, it's harmful. Research shows that Psychologically healthy people experience the full range of human emotions. They feel sad when they lose something. They feel angry when they're wronged. They feel anxious when facing uncertainty. The difference is not the absence of negative emotions, it's the relationship to them. Happy people don't suppress their feelings. They acknowledge them, learn from them, and let them pass. Myth number 3, happiness comes from external circumstances. We believe that if we could just change our circumstances, our job, our city, our partner, our bank account, we'd be happy. Research on identical twins raised together and apart suggests that about 50% of your happiness set point is genetic. Another 10-15 is explained by life circumstances. The remaining 35-40 is within your control through intentional thoughts, behaviors, and practices. Your circumstances matter less than you think. Your choices matter more. Myth number 4, if I'm not happy, something is wrong with me. This is the cruelest myth. It pathologizes normal human suffering. It tells you that your sadness is a symptom to be eliminated, not a signal to be heard. The psychologist and author Dr. Russ Harris writes, "The more you pursue happiness, the more it eludes you." This is the happiness trap. When you feel unhappy and then judge yourself for feeling unhappy, you add a layer of suffering on top of the original pain. Part 3, Ancient Wisdom, What the Philosophers Knew. Long before modern research confirmed the happiness myths, ancient philosophers understood the trap. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." He wasn't talking about productivity. He was talking about wasting time chasing things that don't matter: wealth, status, approval, while neglecting what actually matters: character, virtue, relationships. The Stoics believed that happiness is not about getting what you want. It's about wanting what you have. It's about focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, your choices, your responses, and letting go of what you cannot. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Buddha's first noble truth is that life contains suffering, not as a pessimistic statement, but as a realistic one. Suffering is inevitable. Pain, loss, aging, death, these are part of being human. The second noble truth is that suffering is caused by craving, by constantly wanting things to be different than they are. You want the pleasant to stay. You want the unpleasant to go away. This resistance is the source of suffering. The path to freedom is not eliminating craving, it's changing your relationship to it, accepting what is, letting go of the need for things to be different. Aristotle and eudaimonia. The ancient Greeks distinguished between two kinds of happiness. Hedonia is the happiness of pleasure, good food, comfort, entertainment, sex. It's fleeting. It's the dopamine hit of a new purchase or a fun night out. Eudaimonia is the happiness of meaning, living in accordance with your values, realizing your potential, contributing to something larger than yourself. It's deeper, it lasts. Aristotle argued that eudaimonia, not hedonia, is the goal of a well-lived life. Not constant pleasure, but a sense of purpose, growth, and virtue. Part 4, The 4 Pillars of Sustainable Happiness. Let's synthesize the research and ancient wisdom into a practical framework. Here are the 4 pillars of sustainable happiness. Pillar number 1, connection. The Harvard study is clear. Relationships are the number 1 predictor of happiness. This doesn't mean you need hundreds of friends. It means you need a few people you can be real with. People who see you, who accept you, who show up when it's hard. If you're lonely, the most important happiness practice you can do is not a gratitude journal, it's reaching out to someone. Pillar number 2, purpose. Purpose is not about changing the world. It's about having a reason to get out of bed in the morning, something that feels meaningful to you. It could be your work. It could be raising children. It could be a creative project. It could be volunteering. It could be caring for a pet. Research by psychologist Dr. Martin Seligman, the founder of positive psychology, found that people who report having a sense of purpose are significantly happier and healthier even when controlling for wealth, health, and social support. Pillar number 3, presence. Happiness lives in the present moment, not in the past, which you can't change, or the future, which you can't control. Most people spend their lives either ruminating on the past or worrying about the future. They miss the only moment that actually exists, now. Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. and increase well-being. Pillar number 4, acceptance. This is the most counterintuitive pillar. The key to happiness is not eliminating negative emotions, it's accepting them. When you stop fighting your sadness, your anger, your fear, they lose their power over you. They become visitors, not squatters. The psychologist Dr. Carl Rogers wrote, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." Acceptance is not resignation. It's the foundation from which real change becomes possible. Part 5. The practices what you can do today. Now let's get practical. Here are specific, research-backed practices you can start today. Practice number 1, gratitude journaling. Every day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. The coffee was good. A friend called. The sun came out. Research by Dr. Robert Emmons found that people who kept a gratitude journal for just 3 weeks reported higher levels of optimism, exercised more, and had fewer visits to doctors. Practice number 2, savoring. Instead of rushing through pleasant experiences, slow down. Pay attention. Savor. Don't eat lunch at your desk. Don't scroll while you watch TV. Don't rush through your morning coffee. Be there. Practice number 3, acts of kindness. Do something for someone else. Not for recognition. Not for reciprocity. Just because. Research by Dr. Sonja Lyubomirsky found that people who performed 5 acts of kindness per week reported significant increases in happiness, even when the acts were small. Practice number 4, social connection. Reach out to someone you care about, not a text, a call, a visit. The research is clear. Social connection is the single strongest predictor of happiness. Prioritize it. Practice number 5, move your body. Exercise is not just for your body, it's for your brain. Regular physical activity reduces anxiety, depression, and stress and increases well-being. You don't need to run marathons. A 20-minute walk has measurable effects. Practice number 6, sleep. Sleep deprivation is a happiness killer. Prioritize 7-9 hours. Protect your bedtime like it matters because it does. Practice number 7, time in nature. Spending time in green spaces reduces rumination, repetitive negative thinking, and improves mood. Even looking at images of nature has been shown to have positive effects. Practice number 8, mindfulness meditation. Start with 5 minutes a day. Sit, breathe, notice when your mind wanders. Bring it back. Research shows that mindfulness meditation changes the brain, increasing gray matter in areas associated with learning, memory, and emotion regulation. Practice number 9, limit social media. Social media is correlated with lower happiness, higher depression, and increased loneliness, not because it's evil, because it replaces real connection with its simulation. Practice number 10, stop chasing. Stop asking, "Am I happy yet?" The question itself creates unhappiness. It implies you're not. Instead, focus on the practices. Focus on how you live. Happiness is not the goal, it's the byproduct. Part 6, the dark side when happiness becomes toxic. We need to talk about the dark side of the happiness movement. There's a version of happiness culture that is toxic. The version that says, only positive vibes allowed. Good vibes only, negative energy not welcome. This is not happiness. It's emotional avoidance, and it's harmful. Toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is the belief that no matter how difficult or painful a situation is, you should maintain a positive mindset. It sounds like, just stay positive. Look on the bright side. Other people have it worse. Don't be so negative. Toxic positivity invalidates real human emotions. It tells you that your pain is wrong, that you shouldn't feel what you feel, and it backfires. Suppressed emotions don't disappear, they come out sideways. In irritability, in physical symptoms, in outbursts. The tyranny of should. I should be happier. I have so much to be grateful for. I should be over this by now. I should be more positive. These shoulds add a layer of shame on top of your actual feelings. You're not just sad, you're sad about being sad. The psychologist Dr. Kristen Neff, a researcher on self-compassion, writes, the opposite of self-compassion is self-judgment, and self-judgment is a major driver of unhappiness. Let yourself feel what you feel. Don't judge it. Don't suppress it. Don't wallpaper over it with forced positivity. Part 7. The meaning of happiness and new definition. Throughout this video, we've been challenging the common definition of happiness. So let me offer a new one. Happiness is not the absence of negative emotions. It is not constant pleasure. It is not getting what you want. Here's a better definition. Happiness is the sense that your life is meaningful, that you are connected to others, and that you are living in alignment with your values even when it's hard. This definition acknowledges that life includes suffering. It acknowledges that you will feel sad, angry, scared, and lost. And it says, that's okay. You can still be happy not because you're always smiling, but because your life has depth. The paradox of happiness. The more you chase happiness directly, the more it eludes you. The more you focus on meaning, connection, presence, and acceptance, the more happiness shows up as a byproduct. When you're not looking. The writer and philosopher Viktor Frankl, who survived the concentration camps, wrote, happiness cannot be pursued. It must ensue. One must have a reason to be happy. Find your reason, not in a promotion, not in a purchase, not in the approval of others, in your relationships, in your purpose, in your presence, in your acceptance of what is. Conclusion: stop chasing, start living. Let's come back to where we started. You've been chasing happiness, running on the hedonic treadmill, believing that the next achievement, the next purchase, the next milestone would finally deliver what you've been looking for. It's time to stop chasing, not because you're giving up, because you've been looking in the wrong direction. Happiness is not out there. It's not a destination. It's not a reward for getting what you want. It's here, in the quality of your relationships, in the meaning of your work, in the presence you bring to this moment, in your willingness to accept what you feel without judging it, without running from it. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. He wasn't saying that external circumstances don't matter. He was saying that your internal orientation matters more. Stop chasing. Start living. Not perfectly, not always, happily, but fully, with connection, with purpose, with presence, with acceptance. And one day, you'll look up and realize you stopped chasing happiness and it found you. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to deal with problems without losing yourself. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to stop chasing and start living. Subscribe for more deep dives into psychology, philosophy, and the art of a meaningful life. I'll see you in the next one.